Go ahead and pour in, guys. Gonna be another juicer stream. I'll be right back. Good to have you guys in. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Good to see you guys in. All right, let's see here. Man, how's everyone doing today? How are we doing in the chats? How many people we got in here? Ooh, got a good amount of people. Good to see you guys in. Man, we're gonna make sense of what's going on. It seems like we've come at what could be a bottom in the markets, but there's a way of thinking about this that I want to go over, and I just want you guys to know that, like, I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm just someone who takes supreme accountability for everything in my life, like, to an absolute extreme. Like, I don't actually think Bitcoin can go up unless I do 100 push-ups a day, and I get that doesn't make sense, but I think that if we all take accountability for everything that happens and we stop blaming the external for how we feel, we'll all be better off. And so we're going to take a look at the charts. I'm going to try and give you guys the best advice I can. And we're going to make it a good one, guys. We're going to make it a good one. Yeah, and just know that I love you guys. I'm going to keep showing up, whether up or down. I'm going to keep showing up for Market Cipher, and man, it's just all love, man. So let's take a look at the chats here. Tommy Luck, Gazgano, Willem, Arc Signal, Nightshade, my man Phil, man, all you guys, Jay Eth, good to see all you guys in here. Thank you for showing up. Thanks for putting up with me showing up late. At a time like this, man, I gotta wait for that daily candle close, right? You think I'm gonna be a morning monkey? I got that ape in me, but I ain't no morning monkey. And I bet you weren't expecting me in a suit. You weren't expecting me coming out looking fly, like someone you might actually want to listen to. But yes, a wizard is never late. A wizard is always perfectly on time. Before we get into everything, we got the Mike Perry fight. We got the BKFC Knucklemania on the April 27th. Gotta shout out our boy Mike Perry. And yeah, we got night traders. So, man, we got plenty of people who stream Market Cipher in the morning, right? We got Jason Casper. We got the Otter Gang. We got Geo. We got Miss Teen Crypto. We got all these people handling all their stuff, doing their 9-to-5 thing, their giga grind. We gotta have so much respect, man. It's so hard to wake up every day and just hammer every day and make every day a good day like they do. And so I have the utmost respect for all of our Market Cipher community, the whole fam. So we're really just covering it's the Market Cipher TV show all day, every day, man. We're just rolling, keep it rolling all the time, man. Stop paying for cable because we got Market Cipher television 24/7, man. What other indicator do you have that has so many wacky personalities out here to provide you entertainment? Because that's what this is, right? This isn't knowledge, this isn't wisdom, this is pure entertainment, right? Man, and so yeah, this is not financial advice. That's why I tell you to take creatine, to do 100 push-ups a day, and to look after yourself in the real world, man. Screw the Matrix for a second. I hate to say it, but screw Bitcoin for a second. How are you doing, man? Are you pumping out here in these streets, man? It's tough out in these streets. Make sure that, you know, up or down, we're moving in the right direction. We have the right mindset. Up or down. AK says he's doing 200 push-ups a day. Gosh dang it, bro. You're making me look like a clown, man. You're right, man. 100 push-ups a day is nothing. Jackoff says I'm pumping slime. Dude, what are you talking about, bro? Man. Lolo says, dude, you and Face are pure entertainment. That's exactly, we're nothing else. This is only entertainment purposes, only. And don't get it twisted, man. Don't get it twisted. Man, and look where we are at, guys. Talk about entertainment. We were, you know, it was just, seems like just yesterday we were up here in the 70s thinking, oh, 100K, you know? And now here we are down in the doldrums, down at the year-to-date anchor. You know, like I've been saying for months, like if we get to this point, this is where we wanted to get. This is the cheap This is the buying opportunity that the crypto space needs. And listen to these people. Listen to the fear, the uncertainty and doubt, the FUD. You can't deny the FUD, right? Tell me, am I the only one hearing all the FUD? People are not bullish. People are crying doom and blood and sweat, death in the streets. Sell all your Bitcoin. You gotta feed your families. You gotta feed your families, goddammit, sell it all. Everyone's capitulating. And yet here we are at what is considered a fair value line. It's the year to date from a 2024 standpoint. I'm not thinking from a China perspective. I'm not as smart as Xi Jinping. All I can think of is I'm basically like a goldfish. If my memory started in 2024, if I was born on January 1st, 2024, then Bitcoin is at its fair value, what it probably should be valued at when it's at these lows at like the 59K area. Okay? And so it is trying to maintain this flag pattern, which has kind of a monkey ape-like target. This flag actually extends. I don't even want to draw the target because I don't want to pump your head full of nonsense. That's how stupid this target is, if this does play out. And this stream may go down in history, perhaps, maybe, perhaps, we'll see. But also, I know that, man, we got money on the line, man. We got money, hopes, and dreams, and blood on the line. And so even though I am just for entertainment, I'm here to provide my take and the market cipher take. So first of all, guys, we got to take a look at the weekly. Bitcoin's weekly, not looking hot, okay? I'm finally saying it. I get that we're over the 60 line still technically, but this is by the skin of its balls. I mean, look at this shit. One more bad week, and that's all she wrote. And we see what happened over here. Like when this momentum wave falls down, look what happened after that. The crypto market took the biggest dump iceberg. This was the iceberg. And yes, the good men below deck pumped the waters and shoveled the coals. And yes, they stalled the sinking so that the people above deck could eat the fake bread and taste the fake wine and screw each other's wives for just a couple more minutes. But it did not stop the sinking. All right, and then you see over here the captain went down with the ship. All right, then over here the dude got sucked through a hole, and then the other dude got crushed by a smokestack. Next thing you know, the violins are playing. Oh, but then humanity makes a rally. We got to load the women and children into the lifeboats. There's hope for humanity. And so the problem is resolved, but along the way, there's gunshots on the boats. Yes, humanity is rallying, but there's blood. There's still bad things happening. And it's only when we're in these icy cold waters, the icy cold waters of the rescue phase. This is when shit's hardest. The Titanic has sunk. And while the Twitter people are already boarding the next Titanic in their minds, we're stuck in the previous movie, flopping and groping in the cold waters waiting for a lifeboat. We're saying, where the hell's my lifeboat? How come I'm not the main character? What the fuck's going on? And so that's where we're at in the markets right now. We're at the end of the Titanic sinking, despite Twitter acting like we're already on the next movie. And so, man, that's where we're at. We're in these icy cold waters. What does that mean? It means you got to measure your breaths. It means that you got to remain calm. It means that the mentality of being a survivor, of holding on and not letting go. Don't be like Jack. Don't let go, you know? Is it the time to capitulate all of your Bitcoin? Only if you gotta feed your family, man. Only if you've already overextended and you panicked and sucked in water and breathed. You're taking up too much oxygen, using too much leverage and oversaturating yourself up at these highs and screwing yourself over. Only those people would be considering selling Bitcoin at this fair value institutional level. But is it the time to buy new Bitcoin? Is it the time to ape into the Bitcoin market? On a personal, just what did I do? Where's my money? I bought a little bit of Bitcoin the first time we wicked down at about a little under 60K. I got something at like 60K. I tried to get it down at like 59 something. I got some Bitcoin. basically at 60K, because I had a feeling like maybe it doesn't want to hit the year to date. Maybe we just tapped it and then boom, shot back up. And so I didn't want to risk missing out on that year to date anchor, this is the volume weighted line that's placed at the first of the year. And like I had to take it because I have the capital on the side to do so. Despite what happens at this level, it is just a point of interest, okay? I'm not saying this is the bottom, ape in. No, the name of the stream is called Is It Time to Ape? Because I'm telling you, no, it's not time to ape right now. It may be time to buy some Bitcoin, and because that is what we're at a fair value. This is what Bitcoin should be worth, is what it's at right now. Not gonna lie. But it could go lower. We'll go into it, but I'm not quite seeing the strength that I want to see at this level for a strong bounce just yet. I still gotta watch this shit. But here we are. We get a quarter, right? We got a new quarter. Q2 started, right? We slip below that, so that's a kind of an obvious play back down to the previous quarter's anchor. So this was Q1 of this year. So we fall from Q2, we go to Q1 as support. This happened in the past. This happened back here. Over here we had Q4 of 2023. See, October 1st of 2023. And when Q1 of 2024 started, we broke out of that, right? And so we made that play down to the previous quarter's anchor. And so history is repeating to this very point. History is repeating, and here we are again. If it's a simple fractal leapfrog, if it really is that simple, it's just we're basically right here. If I was a complete monkey ape, this is like, I would be telling you guys FOMO in at this point, because we just tested the previous quarter's anchor. So, but man, I remember after this ETF dump, we hit this low, and things were not really guaranteed, man. Not really guaranteed. If anything, we didn't really regain our bullishness until we regained price action over the quarterly anchor, right? And so we don't actually turn into bulls again until we overcome the April, aka the Q2 anchor. Does that make sense, chat? Does that make sense? Tell me it makes sense. It's not actually time to ape until we overcome Q2, this Q2 anchor overhead, which is at 64 or sorry 67 right now. Okay, so no, it's not the time to ape. It's institutional dirty work time. The institutions are doing the dirty work right now. It's a speculative long off the previous quarter's anchor. And so yes, from a whale perspective, from a big dog perspective, if you're a big dog like FG and you got some capital, some tether on the side, some barrels to deploy into the market, and you're chilling, your living situation isn't precarious, you're not over leveraged, and you're not flopping and groping, then these are great levels to buy some Bitcoin, to scoop a little bit of Bitcoin. But we're prepared for a little bit of monkey business, right? Because history doesn't just repeat, it rhymes. And so yes, we do have this amazing bull flag that I don't see anyone else talking about. How come no one else is talking about this amazing bull flag? Everyone's talking about triangles that are breaking out and getting shit on. Everyone's talking about $40,000. How do you talk about 40,000 before you talk about 58? Or before you talk about 51.7? How do you just say 40K? Or 35K before you even begin to contend or think about all these other valuable points of interest, these volume weighted points of interest? And so, even if we do eventually have to go that low, people who are calling these low targets are completely talking out their ass. They have no idea where things are going. They have no fucking clue. Okay? There's so many levels on the way down to that point where anything could happen. That these people are just fudding, bro. These people are just fudding, and they're full of shit. There's plenty of support at this point. If anything, if this did collapse down, it's a very likely that we bounce off that Q4 of 2023 anchor again, because it was such strong support in this run before. And so like we could perhaps create some sort of ebbing and flowing under the year to date, but over the previous quarter, right? And then we could regain. And it's a natural ebbing and flowing type thing. So that's a potential possibility. I don't want to, the sense of time may not make sense with what you're thinking, but just to put something in your head, you know, of like a scenario where we do lose the year to date, but we're just simply in this like institutional dirty work kind of phase in the markets. And think about the FUD. Yes, dude, the FUD. People talking out their ass with the FUD. Warren Buffett has a phrase that says, he said, be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. And what instills more fear than the idea of us all getting nuked off the face of the earth? That's like the most, that's like the ultimate, it's the ultimate card they could play. They got nothing else up their sleeve. That's the only thing they got right now is you gotta threaten to kill us all unless we pay to sell all our Bitcoin. Are you fucking kidding me? So, I mean, I looked at, you know, War FUD with scrutinizing goggles from the second that news came out, you know, because we've been in perpetual war for decades. I was born in 95, and all I know in my whole life is perpetual war and political bullshit. Okay, so it's not going to work on me. Maybe it works on you boomers, you old people out there. But, I'm too young and smart and savvy and flexible and dynamic. I'm too dynamic for you people. So, that being said though, you know, the price action moves and news is just an explanation after the fact basically anyways. So, this could come down lower. You know, it very well could. And so like, am I seeing the strength off of the year to date? We just simply need to see some strength after the dip here at this year-to-date anchor. The year-to-date anchor. The year-to-date anchor. Oh, the year-to-date anchor. All right, it could be a big freaking deal, okay? But if it's not, you know, well, it is a big deal because we've already gotten 2 bounces. So you have to give me credit, okay, for introducing this line to the crypto space, because this is a clear point of interest. Okay, if without the year-to-date anchor, this does look like scary as hell. What the hell kind of pattern is this? It's like a triangle that broke down, and this is scary. But with the year-to-date anchor, you see how it is actually an institutional kind of dirty work kind of level. You know, it's where people are flopping and groping the most. I mean, man. There's a lot of flopping groping going on, surprisingly, at the year-to-date anchor, which like I wasn't expecting, honestly. I was expecting us to dip down to this anchor, and everyone is screaming, buy the dip. Steady, lads. I hate these people on Twitter. Steady, lads. It's like, you ain't no captain. You ain't the captain of shit. I wouldn't even trust you to swab the poop deck, and you're lucky we didn't give you the fucking plank, okay? So don't be saying steady, lads, unless you want to get thrown overboard, bro, okay? You ain't no captain, and you don't even want to be the captain, by the way, because guess what the captain does? The captain goes down with the ship. When the ship sinks, you know where you go down at this point, at right here. The captain goes down with the ship, and he's not the main character of the story. The captain dies. Why would you want to be the captain? You don't want to be the freaking captain. So the steady lad shit, you know, whatever. So I was expecting that. I was expecting just perma bull, hopeful activity. But yet we see like a lot of FUD, a lot of fear, a lot of people calling lower. And so actually the sentiment read is quite bullish for me. I'm like, I want to buy your fear, you know? That being said, man, let's see here. Okay, so on the 4 hour, I do see a little bit of, we actually got that dredge down that we wanted. Like we bounced off this point, but things didn't look right? The RSIs were still way up here. We didn't get the RSIs like dipping down to oversold and then showing strength over 12, but now we are, guys. Chat. We're seeing a little bit of strength after the dip here. by getting this divergent wave down here in the price, and then we're getting a little bit of follow-up with the 4 hour coming up, and we are getting the RSIs just barely like tapping oversold and then coming back over 12. So the RSIs did dip into oversold territory, kind of like they did back here, right? Kind of like they did back here, right? And so, ooh, that gets me a little bit giddy, you know? That gets me a little giddy. But let's check the bigger time frames. Let's check the 6 hour. All right, we got the div there. Money flows money flows thin. It ain't perfect. It ain't perfect, but also it's been kind of thin. You know, because we were in this consolidation. I would love for these RSIs to come down a little bit lower on the 6 hour, not gonna lie. The 8 hour, the money flow's dipping into the red. It's hard to say if it's just another little nodule or if it is a bigger issue. You know, and I appreciate Trader Geo's bearish opinions, man. Please don't change, Geo, please. I need to hear all perspectives. It's the perfect, this market cipher community has the perfect mixture of ideas. Not only are we covering all of our bases, but we're covering all the emotional possibilities. I mean, if this did get worse, Geo, you know, what you're suggesting is that this is only the beginning, right? And yeah, I mean, this money flow turning red is like, man, if something bad's gonna happen, it is only the beginning of that bad thing happening. Especially when we look at the weekly. Look at the weekly, Geo. The weekly is not, yeah. And another thing is he may be bearish, but Geo trades both directions. He's a bisexual. He's bisexual like that. He goes both ways, man. He'll be bearish, but he's not afraid to long on some support. And so that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's scalping longs. That's what I'm saying. So, yeah. But I love that. But I love that you counter the frothiness, bro. I feel when I am bullish, I feel like I'm underrated because when I'm bullish now, everybody's bullish. But I was bullish. I mean, I started my push-up challenge at like 48K, you know, and then we pumped like 70% or some shit. So like, you know, when I'm bullish, I try to be bullish at the right times, but then I just sound like everyone else. But I love that. I love Geo's perspective, man. Me and him are homies. But yeah, so on the daily, even though the weekly looks like shit, we're basically just holding our wieners and hoping for some sort of rescue. Is there even like an uptrend of blue wave? And the money flow coming down a little bit too. Even though, I mean, really all we got on the weekly is just the fact that it's not low momentum, it is high momentum. The RSIs are kind of high still, and the money flow's kind of high, but everything's in descent on the weekly, so it's not looking pretty on the weekly. So we lost the backup on the weekly. The 2 weeks, even though it has runaway train status, something big is rolling through. In the monthly, same deal. It almost looks like it's pinching and shit's all messed up, even though we are over the 60 line. So the big time frames, honestly, they really can't help us right now, man. We're really just stuck on the planning. This is a trader's, this is an investing nightmare because the macro read, you know, sucks. But the planning time frames do tell us a little bit of some sort of bounce is happening here a little bit at this year-to-date level. At least on like the 4 hour perspective, we see some bullish divergence. So, but yeah, like we just simply can't, it's not ape mode, guys, until we overcome the Q2 anchor. That is my ape mode. Until then, I'm very cautious on Bitcoin. I had a bit of a buy. You know, it's time to, it was time like perhaps to buy a little bit if you're in a good position to, but I don't think it's the time to panic sell any Bitcoin unless you have to, because I don't know, man, I just don't think it's a good idea. To sell it now and not at a higher level. You could at least try to get out like at the April anchor. Try to get out, if you really are concerned about it, try to get out at the Q2 anchor instead of like at the year to date, if that makes sense. So let's look at the S&P 500. And what the hell is this, dude? I hope I don't get copyrighted. Okay, so let's look at the S&P because, you know, Bitcoin's holding its year-to-date anchor. The year-to-date anchor is holding on Bitcoin. The S&P is getting the biggest 4-hour wave we've gotten in a long time, but we are in runaway train to the downside, and we're not seeing the 4-hour candle strength on the S&P that we want to see. This actually looks gnarly. This looks gnarly. I'm not seeing, look at this, guys. We're not seeing the S&P strength that we want to see. Let's look at the daily. So yeah, it's like, it's a deep wave. And like, look, the yellow oscillator is crossing up a little bit. There is definitely some evidence of like a little something happened here, but it's just simply a point of interest for the S&P. This is not looking like a strong bounce where like we just wick down, boop, and then like all of a sudden we're just mooning back up. That's not what's going on here. So there's definitely some fishing around at this point of interest, and it's not the time to restore our faith in the S&P just yet. It's not the time to ape just yet. Man, and people still view Bitcoin as a tech stock, even though like if this World War III is legit and all this shit, like Bitcoin was kind of invented for like this very moment in history, you know, and yet people are still just kind of viewing it as a tech stock, and it's just going to dump with all these other stocks, you know. But yeah, it's like something could happen here because on I don't know, man, like we have a bullish momentum desert, right? There's a lack of opportunity, a lack of good buying opportunities below the zero line, and here we see a giant one. It's just like, would I trust this year-to-date anchor just yet? Not really. There's actually nothing telling us this has to bounce here. Maybe the S&P does have to come down lower, and if it did come down lower, maybe it would have to dump down. Just an idea of mine. It may have to dump down to this October lows anchor right here, which would be like right here at like 48.50, maybe like 48.50. Man, how far has this come down already? About 4. Man, it's crazy how small of a dump this is. And people are just like crying. But that is a sizable move for the S&P. So yeah, the S&P is not looking as strong as Bitcoin from a year-to-date standpoint. Even though they're both holding the year-to-date, we're seeing a little bit of strength on Bitcoin. See this? But when we look at the S&P, it's not really showing it quite yet, even though we're still over it. AK says, how many anchors do you put? The year-to-date's it's kind of subjective based on what we want to look at, man, because there's multiple ways to put anchors. But maybe let's look at the S&P from a quarterly standpoint. So we'll do like 3 months, and we'll slap an anchor on every 3 months. So we got the quarter that just started, Q1, and then Q4 of last year, and let's just take a look at that. So we'll zoom in, and okay, yeah, so this gives us a level at around the same level, about 47.60. If we did have to just like slice through the year to date and just like completely ignore it, we like in a worst case scenario, we dump down to the next point of interest, which is like 47.60. Yeah. But also we are still holding the year to date, so it's kind of a bad time to make a call because we're still exploring the year to date. We're still fishing around, and we're discovering if this level is going to hold. I mean, there has to be like big players looking at this like, what do we do with this? Because this is a fair value from a yearly, like a quarterly standpoint. They're probably sitting around wondering if they should push the button and make it go down lower, or if they should just buy this shit up. They're probably like in their backroom meetings, like discussing that as we speak. So it is a little early to make any kind of call on the S&P from this point. But it is actually, at this point, just how it looks right now, it looks healthy that we came down and tapped the previous quarter as support. What about the Nasdaq? Okay, so the Nasdaq, let's do that quarterly analysis of the Nasdaq. So the Nasdaq, look, it's violating its year-to-date anchor. It's not doing as well compared to Bitcoin or the S&P. It is in fact violating the year-to-date. So yeah, that's it's just something to pay in mind. The Nasdaq is already fishing around underneath its year-to-date, and the 4-hour doesn't look as hot. RSIs did come down substantially here. The 8-hour looks like it still needs to cool off a lot. So the Nasdaq is fishing for a bottom somewhere. It lost the year-to-date, so now it's in straight up gulag. It's in the gulag now. So who knows, man? It is possible that Bitcoin has a similar fate, or Bitcoin could simply just be outperforming the stock market right now. That could actually be what we're seeing here, but I mean, I don't know. You guys got to make that conclusion yourself. You guys got to make your own financial decisions, man. So looking at ETH, we're going to delete all these anchors. We're going to do a quick quarterly look at ETH. ETH appears to be also kind of just violating its year-to-date. Right now we're under the year-to-date. Definitely see some div. Definitely see a div. If this does manifest on the 4-hour, we've got a little bit of a divergence kind of going on right here. But yeah, we're under the year-to-date, and so yeah, ETH is I don't know, man. It's kind of it's a stinker. But man, I've been eyeing this ETH BTC trend. Look, actually, dude, holy shit, ETH is actually starting to tickle the. I got to do the quarterly sentiment on this ETH BTC chart real quick. Man, can ETH? Holy shit. Okay, so ETH is actually starting to. This could be resistance here, and we could just slam back down. But there's been a lot of FUD on ETH, guys, but there's ETH ETFs potentially coming, and the people up at the top might have things in store for Ethereum that we don't know about yet. But I believe that if ETH BTC can reclaim above its Q2 anchor, guys, this might actually be the most value out of this stream that you derive is this. We could be witnessing perhaps the start of ETH beginning to trend on Bitcoin. I believe if it can gain some traction on its Q2 anchor, then ETH starts to trend on Bitcoin again. And I would love to be an ETH tart again. ETH is definitely I mean, look at the money flow just on this daily time frame. The money flow bottomed out over here, and it's just kind of been bullish diverging this whole time. We got the RSIs nice and low on the daily that we like to see. If we look at the weekly on here, even though we came lower, the blue wave is not as low. And the RSIs are nice and low on the weekly, guys. The weekly RSIs are low on ETH BTC, oversold. If they can come over the 12 level, basically if we just close a weekly candle over the Q2 anchor, guys, on ETH BTC, things change. The crypto market changes. I might have to rearrange my portfolio or something, because there's a lot of upside potential on ETH if it can actually start moving again. I'm beginning to get a little bit hopeful. We've been following the ETH BTC chart on these streams for a while, and I've been saying not the time yet, not the time yet, not the time yet, because it's like a birth about to happen, man. It's if it's not time, it's not time. But if the water breaks, man, then we got to get to the hospital, man. This is time for action. So keep an eye on this chart. Keep an eye on ETH BTC. It's super, super important for this bull run. The dollar, man, I hate analyzing the dollar. I hate this dollar index. Don't ask me why. Because it correlates, but it also like doesn't, and who knows what the hell this shit's going on. It's a controlled, corrupt currency. It's like looking a little divergent, but also we've been uptrending. Like I don't freaking know, man. I don't freaking know. Maybe it fails, maybe it doesn't. I don't know, man. Watch Tom Crown if you want to get some good Dixie analysis or something. I don't know, man. The total crypto market cap just kind of looking like Bitcoin, just kind of like about to lose that runaway train status, and it's looking just the same as Bitcoin overall. And this Lord Cyborg music's freaking, we're pumping up the jams, man. Okay, let's check the chats. Lolo says Grayscale ETF ads were all over West Palm Beach, Florida airport. It's coming. That's, yeah, man. Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. I'm very sorry. But yeah, the ETH ETF hype, I think we're going to catch the moment where the markets respond to that, right? By watching that ETH BTC chart. If we can overcome that Q2 anchor, I think it's a safe bet that ETH is like really cheap in relation to Bitcoin. Oh, let's look at Bitcoin dominance. Let's look at the dominance. Is Bitcoin dominating? It has been dominating. This is a narrative that, like, you guys got to give me credit for. All year I've been saying, drop a truth in a sea of lies, drop a truth in a sea of lies. And while there's so many people on Instagram that, like, I'll scroll through Instagram reels, see these young guys saying, there's no more gains in Bitcoin, guys. Stop investing in Bitcoin. It's a dinosaur. It's old tech, all this shit. You have to invest in Solana. You have to invest in the new shit. And look what happened to altcoins recently. Okay, so FG's like drop of truth in a sea of lies hypothesis has paid. Okay, Bitcoin is the drop of truth in a sea of lies. New people getting into crypto need to get into Bitcoin first, okay? And then you rotate and you learn this game with Bitcoin, especially because it's got the ETFs and the halvening and this space. Crypto is Bitcoin, okay? And look at the Bitcoin dominance agreeing with me, okay? So, man, I'm glad that I'm proud to have been a Bitcoin guy this year. Bitcoin, Michael Saylor. Look at those neck rolls. Bitcoin. Dude, look at the rolls on this guy's neck, bro. You trust this man with your future? I sure do. So yeah, Michael Saylor, I was like a little mini sailor. I was a mini sailor this year. And man, all these freaking young dudes, they don't even know what the cryptocurrency space was the last few years. They weren't here during the BitConnect era, during the ETH bull run. They weren't established during any of the previous cycles. All they see is diminishing returns. Okay, Bitcoin is old tech. Like they don't understand like how currency works, like how it has to do with like people's faith in it. And time matters. Consistency matters. The fact that Bitcoin's like been Titanic sunk like 7 times and it gets rescued. It gets rescued from the doldrums over and over again. Like that is strength. Okay, has Solana been saved 7 times by the world? No. And look what happened to the alts. Alts went to shit. Look at your Tron. Your Tron went to shit. Your Litecoin, has Litecoin done great this year? Litecoin was once at $415 It never once pumped over 115 again after July of last year. All right, so that's how your Litecoin did. Did your Monero get anywhere close to being $300 like it was in 22? Did your crypto.com go up to $1 yet? The only thing that came close was Solana, and then look, there's like freaking NIG coins being minted on Solana. And so you know what that tells me about Solana? I don't think that says that's a top in the crypto markets. That's a top in the Solana market, okay? This has nothing to do with me, a Bitcoin maxi. Bitcoin is God's currency, okay? I'm called by Jesus to provide truth and shed light in the Bitcoin space. I don't give a shit about Solana and your stupid Arnold. I can't even say the name of it or else my stream will get freaking canceled. But if you want to call a top in the Solana, not crypto, not Bitcoin, Solana markets, then you do that shit, all right? And yeah, man. So you guys can all get screwed on your Solana because it's probably topped out. It's probably topped out. Because moralistically, anything that doesn't serve humanity goes to zero. And anyone who invests and thinks Solana is the future, when there's an ETH ETF coming and you got the Bitcoin drop of truth in a sea of lies, you guys gotta go to church, man. You guys gotta just simply get on your hands and knees and start praying because that shit's probably topped out. But Solana had its run. The first wing of this crypto bull market, Solana had its run, but it's probably time for some other coins it's probably time for Solana to step aside and let some other spaces, some other narratives make some money in this space. If you guys think all the money's going to keep going into Solana and like where that market took that coin is not the future, okay? Whatsoever. That chain goes down every couple months. You can't even move your shit off that chain because it sucks. Cardano, did your Cardano go back up to $3 like you thought it was back in 21? No. So yeah, being a Bitcoin guy has paid, not only on the way up but also on the way down. My ass is covered. I'm not a wildebeest with my ass exposed with hyenas eating me ass first. My ass is protected. I got armor on. Bitcoin is the armor of God against the evils of this world, not only the world, but the evils of the space. It's the safe haven for your money in the crypto space. So yeah, Bitcoin all the way. Not that I'm like a psycho maxi and I don't believe in anything else. Like, obviously, like blockchain itself is what's the future, but yeah, I mean, I'm just a Bitcoin guy. I like trading it. I like investing in it, and yeah, man. Man, when I was at my lows in life, you know, Bitcoin was right there with me. Bitcoin said, let's go to the gym, bro. Let's take over the world together. Did Solana offer me such promises? No. Solana just told me to be racist and that I'm an asshole. That's what Solana told me. Maybe it's true. Yeah. Carlo De Leon says, lift and go to church, man. Dude, if everyone did that, the world would be a better place. And buy some Bitcoin. And do 100 push-ups. Yeah, Trader Geo says check ADA. I kind of like passively checked Cardano already, just in my flaming rant. But yeah, let's look at the quarterly standpoint on Cardano. Man, imagine shilling this coin like it's your whole reason for life instead of Bitcoin, and then regretting not being a Bitcoin guy. Look at you, you're in the gulag. You're below the gulag, you're in the gas chamber at this point, man. You're getting gassed. This music's perfect. Although the RSIs are nice and bottomed out on this. Yeah. And you know, and I'm fudding a lot of these coins, these older projects, but also like Solana had its pump, right? And so maybe later on in this cycle, like other coins get their chance, but like who the hell knows, man? We'd have to just simply keep an eye on these anchors and keep an eye on how things are looking. and like a new narrative for like a new coin. Like there might be a Cardano narrative if what's his face freaking what the hell is his name again? I don't know why I'm blanking on the creator of Cardano, man, but did Gogan, Joe Rogan, Gogan shit come out yet? Is Cardano even doing anything, man? Like they got the problem with that project is like they're always saying things, they're always planning things, and like there's not much doing. And so when like it's all speculation, and so like when this market goes to shit, it's the time for doers. If there's going to be any money in crypto, Carol Baskins, yes, Carol Baskins, the creator of Cardano. If when this space does go to shit, like people are still going to invest in the doers. They're not going to invest in the talkers. Yeah, see some Stephen Hawking, Carol Baskin. Yeah. You know, he's not really a bad market god. You know, he's not as goofy as Vitalik, which is a shame. Like we laugh at Vitalik, but we trust him with Ethereum because he's so autistic and so weird. You know, he loves his project. He wouldn't dump, you know. Whereas like a guy like Richard Hart, this guy's a scumbag, bro. This guy's like a freaking used car salesman. He gets a little bit of money and he's like buying Gucci watches and rubbing it in your face. He interrupts you when you're trying to ask questions. Richard Hart's a douche, you know, so you don't even want to invest in his chain. But yeah, this hodgepodge that he's created, he's kind of just boring, man. I get that that's probably a good thing. Once if Cardano does ever pump, we'll say it was a good thing. But right now it's like, man, hodgepodge. Can't you like just come out and like do something for us, man? Like, can't you just show us that like there's some part of your personality at all that's like worth believing in this shit? He's just like super boring, man. Satoshi's the king because he was wise enough just to create his shit and just F off. That's why Satoshi's the best. Yeah, and Satoshi didn't rug pull. And you know what's funny about Satoshi? I don't claim to know Satoshi, but you know that if Satoshi were revealed, he would be a fine representative of Bitcoin. He just simply has the principles to remain anonymous. But like Satoshi in his email, if that shit was real, it might be fake. Who the hell knows, man? Maybe I'm just doing these push-ups based on a lie. Some asshole who wrote some shit on 4chan. Who knows, man? Maybe my whole life is a lie. But if Satoshi really did tell everyone to do 100 push-ups a day in 2009, he's probably a monk. He's probably a finance lord, a fitness finance chad with a proper JP Morgan style education and a good moral ethics because he understands the spirituality of money to create something like Bitcoin. You have to like really understand money and how the human mind thinks. And so I honestly think Satoshi is probably a giga chad. And if he were ever revealed, you would see that he is just simply like an old man with a six-pack on a beach somewhere with his whole life figured out, and he never needed any money to begin with. He's just giga chad out there, and if he was ever revealed, it wouldn't hurt the price of Bitcoin because he anticipated a future where maybe he gets exposed and he's just got all his bases covered because he's freaking Satoshi, man. That's who I think Satoshi is. Whereas these other coin creators are absolute losers. So yeah, man. So yeah, okay, so the title of the stream, we got the Donkey Kong shit, was Is It Time to Ape? I think that right now it's institutional dirty work, it's speculative longs and shorts. You could bet on things rolling over, and you could catch one of the biggest shorts on Bitcoin in a long time if this does roll over and the FUD really does play out. Okay? But there's also perhaps one of the greatest long scalps of all time too. So like, dude, I don't know, man. Like, there's a bit of bullish energy coming up here on the 4 hour, and perhaps on the daily this could round out and cause something big. I see the yellow oscillator about to cross up here. But objectively speaking, the money flow is diverging on the daily, and we lost the weekly as backup. One more bad week and we lose the weekly as backup. And so, you know, basically I'm not an ape until we overcome Q2. That's this line up here at 67. Okay, that's the time to ape in. I get that we got failed swing longs up here. We had like 2 failed swing longs, but that's the game, man. That's the game. You invite the big institutions in and they play ball, man. They see the price about to do something and they say no siree. So you know, this is my ape level right here. If we can come back over, show some strength over 67, then I think it's ape mode. Until then, there's some institutional dirty work. If you're in the place in your life to play along with them and DCA on the way down, basically like you start DCAing into Bitcoin from this point responsibly. But just remember that we're in the icy cold waters of rescue in these markets. And if you run out of breath before that lifeboat comes, you're sunk, bro. You're going to the bottom of the ocean with the Titanic. So that's where I'm at with the markets. But I know you guys are a bunch of monkeys, so I had to like put a hot, you know, I had to get your attention somehow with some monkey shit. Because I did a poll on Twitter like a couple months ago. It was like, what's the best animal? If you were a trader, what animal would you want to be? And I put like crocodile, eagle, and monkey. And like 60% of people said monkey. It was so funny, dude. I was thinking like, maybe you're the eagle because you start off like above you want to like scope out the biome, am I in the desert or the forest? And then you're looking for some prey like a beaver or a weasel, and then you execute. You go for the execution and the precision and the ferocity and the quickness of the eagle. You know, I love the eagle as a trading mentality. The zooming out and the zooming in, the having the overall perspective. There's something that I love about the eagle, you know what I'm saying? But I really like the crocodile too, because the crocodile, his strategy is ancient. He's not going anywhere, and he gets one big meal and he's good for months. And like, he's just simply is the most evolved and adaptable and patient. He has the patience of a god. And he's not going anywhere. Whereas the eagle is like fragile and bird-boned and could easily get, you know, crushed, or if he's not precise with his attacks, he could screw himself over and break his beak. The crocodile is just like impervious to the. You get the idea. But most people think that apes, like most traders, represent apes, and that's definitely true, man. That's definitely true. Say you guys are a bunch of monkeys. I'm a monkey too, man. I was almost succumbing to the FUD, and I think that things could get worse. But it would be hella funny if this shit was the bottom and everything plays out perfectly in the halving. Sorry, I say halving. You guys all roast me for saying halving, but who gives a shit what it is? Who gives a shit what you call it? It's one or the other. It's whatever people want to call it. So get off my back with that shit, man. It's really not a big freaking deal. The halving, whatever. You guys are a bunch of nerds, man. I swear to God. The same people who correct you on halving and halvening are the same people who say that like when you draw a div, it has to be exactly from this point to this point, or they're doing a trend line and they're on magnet mode and you didn't connect it from wick to wick. It's not exact, FG. It's not a perfect divergence. This isn't a divergence. Because the wick, it's not perfect. It's like you're clearly spending more time on the charts trying to be exact and less on the exchange. Abs are made in the kitchen, not in the gym, all right? So I don't give a shit about being exact. If anything, I just draw a line with my line tool. Divergence. It's a feeling, bro. The market's, it's a feeling, bro. You guys got to get more emotional. You guys have lost all emotion, all feeling, and you guys are just a bunch of boring ass robots with your exactitudes. Just learn to just draw some freaking chicken scratches and draw a dick, okay? Draw a dick and balls on the chart, okay? And look, it's going like, look, it's gonna freaking jizz down, or it's gonna ping off, and we're jizzing to the upside, okay? That's what's going on. So, yeah. So not everything has to be freaking pencil necky. You guys don't have to be such freaking pencil necks all the time and correct people all the time, pretending like you know shit that other people don't when you don't. No one knows what the hell is going on in this shit. Man. But man, I hope my brother's okay, man. I hope my brother's doing good. Man, how are you guys doing? Do you guys have any questions for me, by the way? I'll open up the floor to questions. Turbo Daddy says, why do I think you're in boxers? Dude, come on, man. Don't expose me like that, bro. Don't expose me. You do not want me to change the camera angle, bro. But just know that it's hot in here, man. And I got a fan blowing on me down there. And we got a breeze going, okay? You guys only got to see the top half of me, all right? You only got to see the top half. You don't have to see what's below, okay? Which is that I'm completely naked underneath this shirt and suit here, okay? This is a total act, all right? This is a total act. My balls are swinging. They're actually stuck. My balls are stuck to one leg right now. And yeah, man, I'm just letting it hang, bro. My crystal balls, okay? Why are you asking about my crystal balls, bro? Why are you so emotionally invested? Do you guys think I should wear a suit more often? Is this a good look? Man, I'm happy to be here. Benny, thank you, man. I'm happy to be here streaming. I'm happy to be here for the MC family. When, you know, this is one of those night is at its darkest moments. We're tapping down here. You know, it's like, are we rolling over or is this the bottom type shit? And man, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I told you guys everything I saw. I told you guys everything I'm thinking. That's everything, man. I hope that you're not overexposed and that either way, you're taking care of, you know, you're taking care of what you got to take care of, man. Make sure that up or down is at the end of you. Make sure that you let your family know that you love them no matter what. And if you had a bad day in trading, you know, just don't over explain shit to your wife and say I longed the bottom and it dumped, it's rolling over, the world's going to shit, it's World War III. That's your job as the man, or if you're the woman and you got into this, it's your job now. But either way, like, you charting people, okay, it's not your grandma's job to think about the macro shit. They don't know how to believe in people, places, and things at their lows. Like, that's your job, man. Don't put the fears and the stresses of the world on your family. Talk to your like your community about it, your mentors about it, but just say, baby, it was a good day or it was a bad day, or it was a hard day or it was a good day. Your family knows what to do if you just say good or bad, because if it was a good day, then they'll reward you, and if it was a bad day, then they'll cheer you up. But if you start going into all this shit, then they're just going to be worried about whether they made the right bet being a part of your life, man. I'd be concerned too if you were opening up about if you started flopping and groping. So yeah, man, protect your family from the volatility, the emotions, you know what I mean? Like, keep the emotions in the charts. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, you know? So yeah, that's my wisdom in closing. But yeah, so that's it for the stream. Gonna end it on a good note. And man, just go and just hug your family right now and give them a kiss, tell them you love them. And whatever happens, man, we're in this shit together, bro. But make sure you're getting stronger. Make sure you're doing the 100 push-ups a day. If you guys use code Titanic, you can get 25% off NickCipher. So you go to marketciphertrading.com. Ignore this Black Friday shit. It's just my cash from like months ago is not updating. But the indicator of the century, the indicator that took the cryptocurrency space by storm, the indicator of G's and gods. It's the ultimate oscillator. It's the best oscillator in the world, and it just looks the coolest, and we are the coolest. So yeah, you guys have a good one. Much love, and I'll be back tomorrow. So thanks, guys. Peace.